With that background, I want to then talk about what an agent is and actually what do agents do. So if you look at the literature, sort of the research literature, if you look at the popular press when people are trying to explain agents, there's this little loop, right? It's I'm going to sense, I'm going to think, and I'm going to act. And actually that's a pretty good approximation of what I think I do all day. I kind of, I look around, I see what's going on, I think about what I need to do next, and then I take some action. And depending on what happens when I take some action, the world changes and I'll look around and just do it over again, right? And so robotic agents are actually sort of easy to think about in terms of sensing. I got a robot, it exists in the physical world. It can have standard cameras. It can look at other sort of spectra using LiDAR. It can have an IMU, an inertial measurement unit, which lets it sort of, what you've got in your iPhone, actually, right? It lets it know sort of how it's oriented in 3D space. So it can get all these sensors and the kinds of things it might want to do are, hey, is there a person in front of me? Is there an obstacle? Can I follow something that's moving through the visual field? And so notice that there's this distinction between kind of sensing and perceiving. I get this raw camera data or video data streaming in, but I want to perceive obstacles or kind of higher level things. In a completely different world, you can think about a DevOps agent. So you got an agent that's trying to keep your infrastructure you're up and running, right? So I've got my development environment, I've got some cloud infrastructure. The kinds of things it might look at are log files. I might query databases. I might sort of parse files that are in the system to extract information. And what I'm doing, the things I'm trying to perceive are build failures. Are there system states that might indicate whether things are going right or wrong, right? So the first thing an agent is able to do, like these sort of three capabilities, as I said, we'll take a different slice through it in a minute, is they can just look around the world and gather information, but the information that they're gathering is very specific to what the agent is trying to do. So thinking is exactly the sort of you might in the robotic agent sense, now that I've actually figured out that there are obstacles, what I need to do is how do I deal with that? So I might engage a path planning algorithm. So an agent is going to have tools that they can call out to. So, oh, there's an obstacle at this particular location. Let me call a path planner, and that path planner is going to tell me you need to go over in that direction because the obstacle, I'm sorry, the object that you want to grasp is over there, but you need to move around, right? So now I'm going to think about what I do. The DevOps agent might go, there's an error, right? So the latest build of the system failed. Now that I found that, let me actually think about what might have caused the error. Can I run some tests to try and figure out what's going on? And then the acting side of it, again, for the robotics agent, the acting is sort of physical movement. So I'm going to turn my wheels so that I can follow that path that I planned out. I might move my gripper and sort of manipulate an object. The DevOps agent might run a test or edit a config file or restart a service. And so now and then you can see the DevOps agent goes, well, maybe I just needed to restart that service. I'll restart that service. I'll run the build again and then I'll sense. And maybe this time the build will run to completion or something else is going to happen. So that's the life cycle of an agent.